Welcome, Avatar. This is a crash course on crypto assuming you know nothing. Luckily, you still have 2 to 3 years to figure it out, and you've come to the right place. The world is changing fast. Big Picture Part 1. Money is controlled and printed at will. Central banks and governments have 100% control over the money supply. If they feel like it, they can just add money to the system and give it out for free. They just change digits on a screen or turn on a printing press. If you want proof of this, just look at the M1 money supply. As you can see from February of 2020 to today, the amount of M1 money supply increase was around $13 to $14 trillion. For a clearer understanding, M1 is the money supply that is composed of physical currency and coin, demand deposits, traveler's checks, other checkable deposits, and negotiable order of withdrawal accounts. Bonds. The total market for negative yielding bonds, where you lose money for parking your money, is around $13 trillion. The total market cap of crypto is around $2 trillion. You can decide if some of this money will flow into crypto or not. Enter crypto. Since printing tons of fiat decreases the value of the money, there needs to be a solution. During the past 100 years or so, it used to be gold. Why? Gold increases in supply by about 2% per year. This is nothing compared to the money supply increase. The problem? Now, we have Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin has a fixed supply of 21 million units no matter what happens. The long-term supply increase is 0%. It is fixed. Unlike gold, if the price of Bitcoin goes up, there is no way to get extra Bitcoins. If the price of gold goes up, it is possible to mine more gold. Again, not the case with Bitcoin. Put 2 and 2 together. In the long term, even if we enter fully digital transactions, why would people choose a system where their savings can be diluted overnight? If you have $10,000 US token in a checking account and your government inflates the currency by 50% in a day, this means your purchasing power just went down substantially. This is exactly what happened in 2020. Asset prices go up. Anyone with money in a checking account gets diluted. If your purchasing power goes down, it means the cost of an asset goes up. This means homes, food, gas, and other products must go up in price. This is why the stock market, real estate market, and food prices went up. Enter the logical conclusion. If you follow this logic so far, then fast forward 5 to 10 years. Citizens have 2 choices. 1. Transact and accept a currency that can be devalued with 2 clicks. Or 2. Choose a currency that cannot be diluted by anyone as it is backed by code. Big Picture Part 2. Inflation. If we agree on step 1, we then have to ask what happens in the future. You should see more inflation and more wealth disparity. If you are forced to print money, asset prices go up. The recent news articles around inflation have been laughable. Mainstream media is effectively saying inflation is up so stocks are down. This makes 0 sense. Think this through. Interest rates cannot go up in a big way because people will default. This is a huge disaster, and there is only one solution. Keep interest rates at 0 and do a lot of money printing when needed. Also, when the economy opens up, since M1 money supply is massively higher, inflation should increase. The equation for inflation is total money supply multiplied by how fast the money is changing hands. We can all agree that if people go out to spend and life goes back to normal, money will be changing hands much faster when compared to 2020. We already know the money supply went vertical in 2020. You can decide what this means. Big Picture Part 3. You are early. Or at least early enough. The big pieces are clear now. The last part is recognizing that you are early. Run some simple honest math. Bitcoin market cap is around $1 trillion, or just under. Gold market cap is $11 to $12 trillion, give or take. Bitcoin is a superior version compared to gold, so that is an 11 to 12 times opportunity alone. There are around 50 million millionaires in this world. This means that a millionaire can hold a maximum of 0.42 bitcoins. Therefore, owning even one puts you ahead. Around 2.0 million people are worth $5 to $25 million US token. This means that 10.5 bitcoins would put you into the same category as these individuals from a percentage standpoint. It is not mathematically possible for all of them to own more than 10.5 bitcoins. If you haven't figured out that you're early enough, please rewatch the oddest math. You are not an innovator, these people were early in 2010 to 2015, but you are certainly not late from a math perspective. Big Picture Part 4. Increase complexity, remove middlemen. Bitcoin makes banks irrelevant. They are irrelevant because banks waste ungodly amounts of energy. 1. Heating and cooling of branches. 2. Transportation of money. 3. Cost of security of holding money. 4. All computers. 5. All overhead costs of people. 6. Insane wire transfer fees. And 7. The physical cash creation is also a massive energy loss. Here most people lose it. Enter Ethereum. Ethereum says, okay, Bitcoin makes you your own bank, what if we could make you become your own exchange, lending protocol, etc.? Pause. Bitcoin is basically a basic checking account in your pocket. You send and receive money to an address. That's it. Ethereum is saying, what if we made a more flexible blockchain that allows you to offer all banking services as well? This includes 1. Lending out money. 2. Borrowing money. 3. Creating agreements with one another, such as basic if-then contracts. And 4. Any other application you can think of. Ethereum in basic terms. Bitcoin has a complex software code that makes it difficult to build on top of. No need for a technical explanation beyond that, you can read up on the technical details on your own time. In short, it is hard to build applications on Bitcoin at this time. Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin except you can build actual applications on it, relatively easily. Many of these applications are popping up in the news: DeFi, NFTs, decentralized exchanges, etc. Here is how it works. Bitcoin versus Ethereum. First example. While Bitcoin only has a send and receive function, Ethereum can create basic contracts such as, if Mayweather wins the boxing fight, address 1 sends money to address 2. With no middleman to broker the transaction and take a fee. Second example. Instead of going to a bank, you can lend an anonymous person 1.0 Ethereum at a 12% interest rate. If the loan isn't paid back in a month, he owes you 0.01 Ethereum, or about a percentage. Also, his loan is collateralized. What if he never pays you back? Eventually, the debt reaches a point where his address is liquidated and you obtain all of his funds. Example 3. You want to sell something. You put it up for sale and usually a middleman takes a cut for helping you find a buyer. Instead, you place it onto the blockchain and people can bid on it. You then choose the highest bidder and send them the product at no material cost. Big Picture Part 5. Implication of removing middlemen. How many industries are based on being a middleman? Thousands or millions. This means that power goes directly to the individual you. The second implication here is that you will learn, for better or worse, how much you are worth. Many are making $250,000 a year and are adding nothing to society. They have to learn a new skill. Others may be making $40,000 and they are worth $4 million. so on and so forth. Fairer society. If the value of being a middleman is removed, it helps reduce crony capitalism, where someone is rich just because the parents are rich. Those days are dwindling. This is fantastic for society as a whole. These rich, talentless individuals will not go down without a fight. They will try to manipulate everything to recreate the same scam, but in the long term, they will lose. Currently, money is certainly concentrated in the crypto sphere as well. However, if you've been paying attention, new projects have created new wealth which is creating dispersion. Early investors to DeFi, some particular NFTs etc., have made a lot of money. This is positive for the long-term fairness of the system. Eventually, people who contribute nothing are forced to sell their coins and bleed out as they have no value to add. Painful transition. Many businesses rely heavily on simply being a middle person. As this business model dies out, tangible skills balloon in value. For example, the music industry is going to go ballistic. The music industry has a ton of middlemen, and if money can go directly to creators, they will end up becoming rich. In fact, that's one area where we will see massive growth, work in anything creative. Creativity cannot have competition by definition. Only copied. Conclusion. Now that you get the big picture. 1. Money printer has gone mad. 2. Inflation will likely increase. 3. Asset inflation causes problems between rich and poor. 4. Bitcoin solves this by acting as a store of value with a fixed supply. And 5. Ethereum, or a competitor similar to Ethereum, will dismantle all businesses with middlemen. Now that you get the big picture, it is time to take action. This means you need to get involved. Now.